Good morning, everybody. This is Brandon Reed. So I'm going to talk to you about Sweden. Sweden is one of the Nordic countries located in northwestern Europe. Sweden is famous mainly for Vikings. Now, Sweden has more than just Vikings. Sweden has a long, rich history leading all the way back to the 1st century. However, more recent history, Sweden was neutral in World Wars I and II. However, in World War II, they were forced to participate a little bit by Hitler demanding to let him pass his troops through Sweden. Towards the end of the war, Sweden stood up for themselves and refused to allow Hitler through, and he decided not to invade because he didn't want to have to fight another front. Sweden joined the EU when it was formed and was one of the more prominent members. During the Cold War, they did not make any aggressions towards the Soviet Union. However, there were clashes with the communist bloc over perceived threats of spying by Sweden. Sweden did not participate in the global war on terror or in the Iraq-Afghanistan invasions. However, they did give the United States intel about Iraqi military installations leading up to America's invasion and bombing campaign. Sweden's healthcare is one of the best in the world. They use what is called a decentralized public healthcare system, meaning they have universal healthcare. However, instead of it being controlled and regulated by the main government, each little state in Sweden runs their own system. They can choose to keep it public. They can have it ran by a private company that they hire, and you also have the ability to get your own personal private healthcare. As a result of this healthcare system, the average lifespan is now 84 years for women, 81 for men. One of the interesting things about Sweden is they have a promise that if you're required to see a specialist, you shouldn't have to wait more than 90 days. Meaning, if you require somebody to deal with a particular type of cancer that requires a specialist, once you see and a doctor says you need the specialist, you're not going to wait more than 90 days. In 2018, the Swedish government spent $78.4 billion on healthcare, their single largest expenditure. Swedish education is one of the highest standards in the world. 90% of the students that go to secondary school, that's high school for Americans, they will graduate. In order to become a teacher, you do have to have several professional certifications, and without those, you simply can't be a full-time teacher. Charter schools, or what Americans would call private schools, have to be approved by the state and by the government, and they have to follow the same curriculum and syllabus as the public schools. Whereas in America, you have private schools and public schools. Private schools, they can do whatever they want to teach. They still have to meet certain requirements for students to officially graduate, but they can teach however and whatever they want. Sweden has a skepticism about schools for profit. They fear that cutting corners to increase the profit is going to become more important than the quality of this education the students receive. Crime. In 2019, Sweden had a total reporting of 1.5 million crimes. That's a lot, but it's nowhere near compared to the rest of the world. Only 108 homicides. 108 people were killed in 2019, and that's down from 2018 as well. There's a zero tolerance policy about drinking and driving in Sweden. If you have even a single bit of alcohol in your system and you get pulled over, you will be sent to jail for drinking and driving. The United States Department of State has assessed Stockholm as being a low threat location for political violence against the American government and American citizens. I can't talk about crime without talking about prison. In 2018, there was a grand total of 6,210 prisoners in the entirety of Sweden. That includes people who were in pre-trial and awaiting their trial. And they have a total capacity for 6,432 prisoners. The Swedish prison system focuses on rehabilitation. They want you to go to prison because you did something wrong. They want you to learn and improve. Each prison cell has a TV, it has a radio, you have access to books. If you're somebody who's missing an education, they will provide one to you while you're in prison. They don't view prison as a you messed up, now you have to suffer. It's you made a mistake. Let's help you grow and improve on it so you don't have to make the same mistakes. As a result, they have a very low repeat offending. They have very few repeat offenders. In notable history, American rapper A$AP Rocky spent several weeks in a Swedish jail after an assault allegation between him and another friend of his while they were visiting Sweden. He was eventually released and charges dismissed after it was proven he was fighting in self-defense, but he did not have many negative things to say about prison other than the fact it was prison. The Swedish government is a parliamentary democracy. It's a similar system to how England does it, where you elect officials into office and those officials vote on and pass laws to help the rest of the country. The Swedish government employs 4,600 government workers across all of their branches. They have a 9.6 unemployment rate. At the beginning of the year, it was 6.3%, which isn't bad, compared to a population of 10 million people. They have a 5.1% growth rate and a $556 billion gross domestic product. This is my bibliography. These are all my various sources. I would like to thank you guys for your time and hope you have a wonderful day. And I've enjoyed spending the semester with you.